By now, I bet you've seen the video of Donald Trump visiting the Ford plant in Detroit, Michigan yesterday. A White House spokesman described the ugly incident in a typically nasty statement, the first half of which is absolutely true if you're talking about Donald Trump. Quote, a lunatic was wildly screaming expletives in a complete fit of rage. We quickly learned that the auto worker who called Trump a pedophile protector is 40-year-old TJ Sabulya. He was suspended from work after the incident. Sabulya spoke to the Washington Post and said he was specifically referencing Trump's handling of the investigation into late child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. He added, quote, as far as calling him out, definitely no regrets whatsoever. He said he's concerned about his job and believes he has been targeted for political retribution for embarrassing Trump in front of his friends. I don't feel as though fate looks upon you often. When it does, you better be ready to seize the opportunity, Sabulya said. And today, I think I did that. Congressman Ro Khanna is Democrat of California, co-author of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, a law signed by Donald Trump, which mandates the DOJ release all of its files on a late sex offender, and which they have not done. Congressman Khanna joins me now. Congressman, first, your reaction to that UAW worker who the union is standing behind. I imagine there'll be a grievance process filed here, being suspended, and also his choice of what he had to say when fate called upon him.
Well, he showed courage. I mean, look, this Epstein issue has broken through in the culture in the way that most things in politics don't. And the reason it's broken through is Donald Trump promised to hold these rich and powerful men accountable who raped underage girls. He hasn't done that. He's protected them. And now he's got people on factory floors and places that voted for him calling him out. And good for this young man. And I certainly think it takes bravery to do that, given how lawless the Trump administration has been.
I will say, given everything that's happened over the last week, which has been really insane, I mean, from the abduction of the Venezuelan president to the ICE deployment to the Greenland situation, when I saw that clip yesterday, I thought, oh, yeah, it's pretty crazy that a law was passed. There was one vote against it in both houses. It was signed by Donald Trump. It had a clear deadline, clear statutory language about what had to be released. And they're just doing that. Like, they haven't abided by the law. They've released what they say is like some small percentage. They've redacted things in contravention of the explicit statutory language. They've failed to produce things that are explicitly called for. Like, what now?
Well, Chris, Thomas Massie and I filed with the Southern District of New York to require a judge to have a special master and order the DOJ to release. The judge actually issued an order within a day of us filing that amicus brief, and we're hopeful that we will win the argument that he's going to order the release. But, you know, people ask me all the time, why is it that the MAGA base hasn't turned on Trump on Venezuela? We just lost in the Senate the war powers vote. Why is it that they don't find outrageous what the ICE officer did in shooting Renee Good? Why are they quiet on tariffs or threats to universities? But they're outraged over Epstein. And the truth is, it's because Epstein and that Epstein class goes to the heart of Trump's broken promise. He said, the elites have betrayed you. I'm going to stand up for ordinary Americans. And now he's part of the elites. He's part of the very cover-up he ran against. This is the one thing that is kryptonite for him, and that's why you saw him react in the way he did.
But it strikes me that the way they've dealt with it is so similar to everything else. Like, what are you going to do to make me is basically the way they operate, whatever the law is, right? I mean, you know, this is clear as day. And I got to say, you know, having been around other administrations, having covered other administrations, Republican and Democrat, like, there really is there's just a difference in other administrations where there would be lawyers being like, we got to kind of play ball at least here. It doesn't even seem like they're pretending to play ball. At this point, it seems like they're basically stonewalling this.
They're stonewalling and they're hoping it goes away. But then what happens is that people like Sean Ryan, a popular podcaster, will call them out on it, someone who supported Trump, and then they say, oh, no, our base needs to do something. And when I talk to Thomas Massie, he says Pam Bondi is the most unpopular cabinet member amongst Republicans. And so now you have a judge that is pushing this. I do believe, both talking to the survivors' lawyers who get some notifications from the Department of Justice and to people at Justice, that they are going to start to release these documents. They have released certain documents, and the Southern District of New York, I think, can play a big role in getting this to go faster.
All right, Congressman Ro Khanna, thanks for your time tonight.